Hey guys, what's going on? It's Cal here from KR Sabers. This is the launch video for the auction that's going to be happening this weekend, beginning of July. This is for a vintage Graflex crystal reveal lightsaber that I've built. You would have seen that I've built similar ones before for this limited run that I'm doing. I only ever plan to make about sort of 20 of these using the vintage Graflexes that I have on hand. And these ones feature full metal crystal reveal chambers as well as best electronics that's available on the market. Now that the CF9 has been released, this one does feature the brand new Crystal Focus version 9 by PlecterLabs. So the auction will include this commemorative chest. It's meant to represent, sort of be like the chest that was found in Force Awakens by Rey. So it's got proper steel fixings, it's all made from hardwood, and it's a very hefty box. So inside, of course, will be the lightsaber itself. Like I said, it's a vintage Graflex. It's an original piece, it's not a replica of Graflex. It also features a clear clamp card made by SkyWampa. It's also got the correct clamp cover that you can see here. It's got the turned glass eye. If I just zoom in, it's got the brass glass eye, which you can see here. That's to represent the version that was seen in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. It's also got the notch grips with the rivets, and you'll see as well that it has the accurate belt clip that was found, because it's a little bit different on the actual prop. So that's the saber itself there. It's a very nice hefty saber, but that's what it looks like in its configuration. The auction also includes a blade plug, which I can just show you here if it just focuses. So you get a weathered blade plug as well, which you can just see in there. That way you don't hurt your eyes when you're playing with the saber, and don't damage anyone else's eyes when you're showing them. But the hilt itself is very nice. It's a good condition Graflex, no significant amounts of rust or anything like that. Obviously with these classic flash guns are years old, sort of more than 50 years old, so it's very rare that you'll find one that's in sort of mint condition without the need for restoring it. So I'm just going to put the saber aside for a second so that I can show you some of the accessories that are included with the sale. So you do get a dual diffuse blade, so the blade will be included. This is more to go through the accessories that you'll get inside the box. In here you've got the accessories. So you've got your 7.4 volt charger, which comes with UK and European adapters, and it's also got a 1.3mm adapter on there as well, because the charging port on the Saber is 1.3mm. You get some Scotch Brite pads, which are for buffing the saber. If you get little marks or scratches here and there just from general usage, you can use this, go along with the grain of the actual metal, and you can tidy up some of those scratches quite nicely. You get some pliers there just to help with kill key removal in case you need to put the kill key in when you're making SD card changes. You get a small bag of tool accessories here, so you get your kill key, you get a flathead screwdriver and a socket head, which is for removing the pins in case you wanted to display the chassis. This is your driver for those socket heads. You also get another 1.5 torque wrench, which is for removing the top heatsink so that you can get access to the SD card should you want to, which I'll demo in a short second. And then you'll get your plaque. So this plaque just says Rey Lightsaber Limited Edition. This is number 6. So there's a bit of fur on there, and it's got the KR Sabers there, episode 8, The Last Jedi. You can put that next to your saber should you put it on display or anything like that. So that's included with the sale, and then obviously when you're done with the accessories you can just pop that back on top, and if you've got your shelf or man cave or whatever, you can pop the saber in there and show it off. So now we'll move on to the actual reveal of the saber. So the saber does have a full crystal reveal, which I'll just show you now. So in order to access the reveal, you lift this lever and then you twist it like that. Remember, when you put it back on, you want the clamp on the right hand side of the Graflex. So if you look above it, you want it on the right hand side because that's accurate to the prop. And you just turn it and slide it out like that, and you can put that chamber, the lower half to one side, not chamber, and you've got your initial reveal. So this is the initial reveal of the saber. You can see there that the chassis is machined all from aluminium, brass and steel, It also features my new speaker holder, which hasn't been put on any of them before. This speaker holder incorporates a bass speaker. So before I would use a premium speaker, which is a bit thinner, but this new speaker holder that I've designed accommodates a bass speaker. You'll see also there, you've got your 1.3mm recharge port, and you'll see the crystals just there that I've hand cut along with the other components of the chamber. So that's the initial reveal, so the reveal that you'll see once you take the Saber apart. The nifty thing about the crystal focus is that it does have a deep sleep mode, so you actually don't need to have the kill key in at all times. You'll only ever need to put the kill key in there whenever you want to make SD card changes, or if you're storing the Graflex for a long time and you don't want it to be sitting in idle mode or in an idle current. But the thing is, with the deep sleep mode, it does have a very long shelf life anyway. So what I'll do is quickly I'll just dim the lights so that you guys can sort of see what it's like with the crystals illuminated, because it's a very nice feature, and with the lights off it shows off a bit better. So to wake the Saber up from its sleep mode, you just press the red button up here, and what you've heard there is boot sound. So the boot sound indicates what font it's on, and it also indicates to you that the Saber's ready for usage. So once the boot sound finishes playing, you'll be able to ignite the Saber. So just an example, if I press the red button again, which is the ignition button, see there, the Saber's on. No blade in it now at the moment, but you've got those swing sounds, and this slide tab moves up and down like that. That's for the auxiliary effect. So it has a nice white flash on clash. I use it to sort of intensify the existing blade colour, but if you slide that up and down like so, it will activate those effects. So you've got blaster deflect. If you hold it down, you get a lock-up effect like so, which is quite nice. And there's some other gestures that you can do, like when you move the Saber and press the auxiliary button, depending on the font, you can have those features. You can also see some of the SMD LEDs shining through here, which are mounted onto the actual circuit board itself, and the crystal there. And to power down the Saber, you just hold this button and it goes back into idle mode. So in idle mode, I've set it so that the crystals pulse. The idea of this collector's package is that it's sort of configured for you already. It's filled with great sound fonts, and it's programmed to give some cool effects for when you use the Saber. But should you wish to change the sound font, in order to do that, it's accessible via the auxiliary button. So to enter the sound bank selection menu, or the general menu of the Saber, you hold the auxiliary button down, you wait for the first beat, and you press it again quickly after that. That enters the sound bank menu, and it allows you to browse through the fonts. So to browse through them, you just press the auxiliary button once, and it will say the name of the font. So that font's called Graflex 5. That's called Graflex 4. Sometimes it won't say the name of the font, it will just indicate a sound. So that sound shows that it's on the next sound bank. This one's called Hoth, Bespin,
Skywalker, or TJ, if you only knew the power of the dark side.
So there's a whole selection of old trilogy fonts on there. And then, but when you get to the end of the amount of sound fonts, because there's 12 on here,
Audio player.
it will say audio player. So this allows you to play music. So if you hold this down,
Audio player.
it will start playing some music. And if you press the activation button, it plays music at the same time. So it will be playing music in the background, but also let you activate the Saber. And you can power it down. To stop the music, you hold this down, and it will make a big loud beat, and it will go back into the menu.
The Force Awakens.
So
Graflex.
when you find the font that you want, for example, the Force Awakens Graflex here, you hold the button down when you're on the font.
The Force Awakens.
It will
Graflex.
play the sound again, and then that will confirm that the font's been chosen, and it will play the boot sound. So now that it's played the boot sound and it's pulsating again now, you can turn that on. And you can power it down. So that is how you sort of access the menu on the Saber, how to activate it, what the auxiliary effects are. So whenever you're charging the Saber as well, the charger has an LED indicator light on it. It shouldn't take too long to charge. It should take about an hour or two, and the light will go green when it's fully charged and it'll be red when it's charging. So that's just general guideline on how to operate the Saber. What I'll do is now show you how you would access the SD card should you wish to make any changes. However, just bear in mind that the idea of this product is that it's a complete product. It's sort of set up for you. I understand that there will be some of you who wish to make changes to the Saber, changes fonts as time goes on. So I'll show you how to do that should you want to. But if you're not confident enough to do it or would prefer not to do it, you're always welcome to send it to me and I'll make those changes for you. But I'll show you how sort of easy it is to access the SD card now. With the lower half removed, we're going to grab some of the tools that we've got inside the box. So we'll put the Saber down for 1 second. And here we've got our two tools, these two tools here, and we've got our tool bag. So we've got our tools, we've got our tool bag here. Firstly, we want to remove the slotted screw that's on the actual Saber itself. So we'll take the contents of the bag out, and you'll see we've got a kill key, we've got a socket screw, and we've got a flat screw. So what we'll do is we'll take the kill key at the moment and we'll just put it inside the recharge port hole. Just put it down like that, and that will cut power off to the Saber, so you won't accidentally turn it on or anything like that. Now that the power's been cut off to the Saber, we can begin by removing just a few of the parts that are involved to remove the entire chamber. So we're going to start by removing the screw up here, which locks the blade holder into place. Next, we're going to remove the two lower pins on either side, these two lower pins. So we're going to change the head of the tool. So now we've removed both those, and what we're going to do is, just to avoid any sort of knocking the button or anything, we're just going to unscrew this just a few times, not all the way, just like that, and then we're going to remove the brass thumb screw, which is the blade retention screw, as well as locking the holder into place. So now, just very easily, the core slides out. So that is the full core of the lightsaber. You can see here it's all machined up top as well. You've got your cable covers for the switches, and we've got our blade plug as well, which can be removed. So now that you've got the chamber in hand, all you need to do to access the SD card is remove two screws, one which is located up here and one which is located here. When you remove those screws, you can then lift the blade holder up. In fact, I'll turn that light off, it was a bit better before. You can remove these two screws, and that will allow you to get access to the top of the chassis. So using the other tool, this other tool here, we're going to remove those two screws, like so. Let's put them down. And you can grab the blade holder like this and very carefully just lift that up, and you can see you've got some wires there, but right there in that slot is your SD card. If I zoom in a bit, just there is where you access the SD card. You can take that out with needle nose pliers, and that will allow you to get access to the SD card. And when you're done making the changes that you want to make, you can put the blade holder back on, like so. So it's back on there. You can grab the screws and just screw it back in place. So you screw those back in until they're back in there flush, and you can remove the kill key using those pliers that I showed you earlier, and the saber will have all the changes made. So when you want to put it back, you can just slide it back in like so. It's all slid back in there now. You can put the top screw in. I use my fingers at first to screw these back on. And you can pop your blade plug back in like so. Use the eye to tighten that back up. And what I'll do is I'll pop this down on the side quickly. I'll put the tools back in the bag. And using my pliers with their thin nose, I'm gonna grab the kill key. I'll just get it in focus. Just gonna grab the kill key and take that out. I'll put it back in my bag of tools and accessories. Put the pliers back like so. And there you have it. You would have made any changes that you wanted to make to the SD card very easily, and just put it in a nicer position. And that is how you would access the SD card. So what I'll do is now is I'll pop a quick blade in and show you what it's like when the saber is fully illuminated. So guys, in order to add a blade to the saber, it's very simple. You just get the saber, undo this slightly like so, just until it's a bit loose. And if you turn your hand upside down like that and squeeze the ears like so, the blade plug will just fall out. You can pop that to one side. And then with your blade, which is included with the saber, there's a dust cap on the end. You want to take that dust cap off, put it to one side, and then insert the blade like so. Then it will be in there. And you can tighten this to make sure the blade's in there safely. And like I said, red buttons activate. With your auxiliary effects that makes the swing sounds. Like so. And you can see it's nicely illuminated there. You've got your effects that you can do, your flashing. I always have like a mild sort of flash on clash, but obviously you can adjust that to however you wish. Got the saber there, and like I said, you can have it in a reveal mode. I'll show that off like that. But whenever I put the blade in, I usually keep the lower half on, just to make sure the saber's nice and safe, even though it can take quite a bit of a beating with regard to the chassis setup. So that's how you put the blade in, guys. And to power down, you just hold it down. So when you're done using the blade, you can just unscrew this like so. The blade will slide out. You can pop your blade plug back in. Sometimes it's easier to squeeze the ears at the same time. Put that back in. And if you want to show it off to people without the blade inside, you can. Like so. And then always remember to put your dust cap on the end of the blade, just to avoid any issues with regard to getting dust inside the saber. So that is the full video there, guys. Good luck with everyone on the auction at the weekend. I hope it goes to a good home. Everyone has a chance to win, and good luck to everyone. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.